1, 2, 1, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now, we want to bring forth to the stage a very special guest, the undisputed.
Nah, son, baby. And this is another episode.
Can't help but swing it, boy. Swing it, brother, swing.
And this is your host. Nah, son, baby. Here we go. Microphone check 1, 2, 1, 2. This is your host, Not Son, baby. And this is another episode of Swingers After Dark. And, I'm building. I was having a conversation, building with a good friend of mine. And we were talking about male egos. And I wanted her to expand on that thought. So, what is it about the male ego as far as, hurt people? They figure, well, just because they got shitted on, they should have the upper hand on women who they date. They become like bitter and, they full of rage. So they look at all womankind as evil creatures. So what do you think about men? Well, first of all, where did it really come from when men see women as enemies?
Where did it really come from when men seeing women as enemies? In some cases, it came from the environment they were raised in, how they saw their parents interacting, whether they came from a 2-parent home or 1-parent home, how their mother dealt with men or how their father dealt with women or how their parents dealt with each other. Or it could be maybe the girl in the 8th grade broke their heart and they ain't never figured out how to get over it. And they're filled with a lot of toxic masculinity traits or whatever. And it's just like, I don't want to say that it's a get me before I get you type of thing, but it's a more so I want to always be the one to have the advantage and the upper hand in this relationship because I'm trying to guard myself or my heart. But the problem is that in the process of trying to do that, you wind up treating women like crap or like they're objects, or you keep on painting them with the same brush, the same general brush that you paint all women with. And just like men, you guys are not all alike. We're not all alike either. So you have to handle people, on a case by case basis, handle them based on how they are handling and how they are being with you, not based on this cookie cutter idea or notion that all women are this and all women are that. So that's how I'm going to act. No, you can't do that because it's not fair to us. Men's egos are so fragile. They have feelings. They don't show them very often, but when their feelings get hurt, they have a harder time getting over it and dealing with it. And everybody after that one woman that hurts them has to pay for it. Whereas most women, there are some women that do become bitter and jaded, but most women, we go back, to lick our wounds or, to, try to better ourselves and evaluate ourselves and, what we did wrong, because we do wrong, even though, a lot of men say that we don't admit it. We do wrong and, try to evaluate how we can be better, how we can move and do better in the next relationship, because we don't want to, put somebody in the box, make them hold the last person's bag that was before us or whatever. We want to be better and do better, but women have we heal better. We forgive. Our capacity to forgive and to move on is so much stronger than men's. And we're out here trying to love like we've never been hurt, while men are out here still mad about who hurt them the last time or what have you, but I feel like everybody has responsibility and accountability in what goes on and what happens in their life. And if you don't start taking responsibility and accountability for your part and stuff, then you're going to always find yourself blaming somebody else and trying to be the victim. And then boom, bam, now here you are, this bitter, jaded person, because you don't take no responsibility for the things that you do. Every action has a equal and opposite reaction. So men need to stop and think about the things that they do that elicit the actions that they get from women, because women ain't just crazy and just out here acting, this way for no reason. No, that's not how we work. That's not how human beings work at all. So just be more accountable, evaluate yourself, look inside yourself, and be like, damn, I really got some messed up ways, some fucked up ways or whatever. Don't be so quick to just women are this and women are that and blah, 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 because you've been hurt. And I don't want to paint men and women with broad brushes and, general terms. obviously this doesn't apply to all men or all women, but to those that it does apply to, you need to seek Jesus and a therapist to help you figure out how to move on and get over that, so that you're not making everybody after whomever hurt you or whatever trauma could have happened in your childhood or whatever the issues are, so that you can get over that, so that you can find a healthy, satisfying relationship in your life. Because otherwise it's going to be a string of messed up stuff after messed up stuff after messed up stuff, where you continually blame somebody else but not taking any responsibility or accountability for what you do.
So what exactly is toxic masculinity?
That men are not allowed to show any type of emotion, any type of vulnerability, or not to even cry. You know, some men don't like hugging other men. And I'm just like, all that stuff is just toxic masculinity. Like, we are humans and we thrive on touch. You know, I mean, think about it, when babies are born, they do the kangaroo pouch thing because babies thrive on that skin to skin contact from their parent, you know, from their mother and their father. So what makes you think that as you get older that you don't need to have the human element? At the end of the day, we are all human. You know, we are all made in God's image. So the notion that, oh, you can't show emotion or you can't be vulnerable is just crazy to me. And I've heard plenty of men say, well, the moment that you do, women turn around and use it against you. Well, clearly that's not the woman for you. And you need to move on and leave that person alone if that's how you feel. But all women are not like that, you know, but all this, especially when it comes to, you know, people with the LGBT community, they're so afraid. I don't want to use the word homophobic because people throw that word around like it, you know, they throw it around even when what they're saying about people, they're not homophobic. Just because you don't agree or like somebody's lifestyle doesn't mean that you're afraid of their lifestyle. So people need to, first of all, use that word. But a lot of toxic masculinity comes into play, you know, when a man may dress a certain way or, you know, carry himself a certain way. Oh, that's gay. Oh, he's gay. You know, and I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody with using that term, because I know some people it's outdated and, you know, but.
No, wait. We fuck raw on this podcast. So you could be raw.
Okay. I'm just saying, you know, I'm a little older and we use that term and it wasn't derogatory like it's supposedly derogatory now. But anyway, and just looking at the way people carry themselves and automatically assuming or they're gay or they're feminine because they try to understand women and they're not afraid of who they are. Their masculinity is secure. You know what I'm saying? But those that are not secure in their masculinity and not secure in who they are or whatever, like, y'all need to move on around with that. There's certain things that men do that like what? I get so tired of hearing men's supposed to be men. There's certain things that men do, certain way that men carry themselves. I agree with all of that. However, stop telling me what they're supposed to do and give me some hard examples of what it is they're supposed to do instead of just saying it.
Wait. First of all, I got to speak up. Listen, men, we don't have the luxury to be bitchy or to complain. We supposed to have results. You know, we don't have the luxury. It's like in the movie The Godfather. Women and children can make mistakes, but not men. It's like we can't afford to complain and be bitchy all the time because we have to produce results. You don't want you want your man to show emotion, but you don't want him emotional to the point where you can't have two emotional motherfuckers in the same room. If you're emotional as a woman, he can't be emotional because somebody has to be logical and use rationale in the situation. So that's what we mean when we say, well, women, they go forward to do this, but men cannot, and vice versa. Because if you can't distinguish between male and female behaviors, then it's like, okay, what is my role and what is your role based on how we're biologically made or how we're biologically created? You feel me? You could say, well, it's society traditions, but at the same time, I can't. It's like we're made to be hunters, so we're programmed or we're wired to go out there and get it by any means necessary, even if we got to take penitentiary chances, because you don't want a broke motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like you say, well, a man's supposed to do this, but how would you feel if I'm the house husband, I'm cooking and cleaning, you know, taking care of the house while you busting your ass every day going to work and you coming back to a home cooked meal when I'm not even working? So what do you think about those role reversals?
I mean, we're not talking about role reversals. We're not talking about roles at all. We're talking about men and their toxic masculinity. I didn't say anything about role reversals. However you want your roles to be in your relationship, that's your relationship. People need to stop trying to conform to societal norms on what they think a role is or whatever. Whatever's going to work for you is what's going to work for you. The problem is that you see, especially with social media, you see what is supposed to be. This is how a relationship is supposed to be, or this is relationship goals, or this and that, or whatever. You can't say that you want this relationship goals or whatever, because a lot of times people ain't willing to go through what that couple went through to get to where they are. So you can't get the beginning and get the end and then fuck everything that happens in the middle. So people need to stop saying relationship goals and make your relationship be what you want your relationship to be. Do I believe that there are roles that men and women have? Yes. Do I believe that those lines can sometimes be blurred? Absolutely, I do, because I believe in a relationship, that certain things, get them done. Whoever can get it done or has the time to get it done, or, the means or whatever to get it done, come together, talk about it, discuss it or whatever. Or if you feel like you need to make an executive decision as the man, make that decision. Me as the woman, I'm going to tell you, I think X, Y, and Z, and you do with it what you will, because you're the head of the household and I'm the neck. But I like what you said about how men can show emotion, but women are emotional. And that's exactly what I mean, because being emotional and showing emotion are not the same thing. I ain't say I want nigga you crying about this and that and third every day or whatever. But if something is bothering you, you need to be able to, at least with me in the confines of our home and our relationship, show some vulnerability and some emotion instead of just, because what is keeping it all bottled up? What is that going to do? So I like the fact that you said that, because people think that they're the same thing, and they're not the same thing. Being emotional and showing emotion are not the same thing. And bitching and complaining about stuff, I don't feel like there's a way to do stuff and there's a way to say stuff. And context means everything. In the context of how you do and how you say stuff, that could be the determining factor of, damn, this nigga's bitching and complaining versus he's voicing his opinion or his distaste or his dislike for something. So, context, tone, all that stuff plays a role. So your relationship should be whatever you and the person that you have decided to be with make it be. Not that you're trying to have a relationship to look like somebody else's or look like your homeboys or even your parents' relationship, or whoever relationship, because you don't know the intimate details of how they're relating to each other and what they're doing. So stop all that and just make it be what you want it to be, and you'll be a whole lot happier and your relationship will go a whole lot better, and you're not going to find it with everybody. But when you find it with that one person that you do, focus on that, but, the toxic masculinity, I'm not saying that a man, I'm not trying to emasculate men by any stretch of the imagination, but some of y'all toxic masculinity traits, that shit just gotta go. It's not cute, and it comes off real misogynistic, and, like I said, stop saying, there's just certain things that men do. Well, what are these certain things that men do? Stop telling me that there are certain things that men do if you can't elaborate on what it is that they do. Because you just giving me lip service and you just saying shit because it sounds good. What is it that they should not do? Be specific, and then maybe we can have a better conversation about it instead of just that one, there's just certain things that men do or whatever, but I think a lot of it comes with, how people were raised, or the men that they were raised around or whatever, playing sports and going outside and catching the ball and all that kind of stuff or whatever. That ain't teaching you how to be no man.
Wait. I gotta say something. A lot of toxic masculinity is really feminine. It's really toxic femininity, because a lot of dudes, if they were not raised by women, they were, around women in the classroom. They teachers are most likely women. So it's not like they picking up these traits by other men. They could pick up these traits by other women, because women don't like women, and they may hear their mama say, oh, fuck that bitch, and that bitch ain't shit. So they may pick up these traits or these characteristics from their mothers or the women in their peripheral. So what about that?
I mean, you're absolutely right. We are what makes us, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with the nature versus nurture theory, and I believe in that nature versus nurture theory. A lot of who we are is by nature, just by the personality, that we developed as we got older. And the other half of it is nurture, which is your environment. Your environment definitely plays a role in, the person that you grew up to be and what has shaped your views on, men, women, the world, or what have you. So I just, there's no right answer or wrong answer to that. It's just that I feel people need to start taking some more responsibility and more accountability for the things that they say and things that they do. And if you recognize that maybe something is not right in you, or you have a string of, bad relationships or bad dealings with people and the end results keep being the same, well, what's the old saying? You keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's insanity. So switch it up, try something different. You know what I'm saying? Are you listening to your mate, to the woman that you're dating or want to be with? Listen to the things that she says, that she, as you may view, that she may be complaining about, or that she is saying, or whatever. Are you listening? Are you actively trying to change, or are you trying to be the change that you want to see, or whatever? A lot of change starts with in you. Are you changing, to become a better person? Are you taking time out between relationships or between dating to take stock of yourself? And be like, dang, maybe I could be doing this different, doing that different, or whatever. And some of this advice, it's not just exclusively for men either. Women, we can take, some of the things that I'm saying and do for ourselves as well. Even myself, none of us are perfect. You know what I'm saying? We're all evolving. We're all trying to change, and we're all trying to be better. But, and I keep saying it because it's very important to me, but accountability and responsibility, instead of always wanting to be the victim. A lot of times in relationships or in dealing with people or situationships, which are so popular nowadays, you become complacent in those, and you just start doing things. You just are acting, working kind of like you're on autopilot, where you're just doing this and that or whatever. And then one day you wake up and realize, like, damn, I really don't like this relationship. I really don't want to be with this person anymore. We're not doing anything. We're not growing or whatever, because if you don't evolve, you're going to die. So take stock in yourself, take time, really try to get in touch with yourself, and there's nothing wrong with seeking. I say Jesus and therapists all the time. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. There's nothing wrong with that. Ain't nobody got to know you seeing a therapist, but you and Jesus, and counseling and therapy, it helps people work through a multitude of things, a whole lot of things. But, you got to be able to admit, damn, I'm fucked up. Damn, I got some messed up ways. You know what I'm saying? Or be able to accept, constructive criticism. Like last night, my good friend here, he told me, and I've been thinking about it all day. He told me, he said, you're combative when you respond and when you answer to stuff. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. So I've been thinking about that all day, trying to keep that at the forefront and trying to be mindful of going forward when I'm responding and when I'm talking to people, to be a little softer, and try not to come off as combative. It's going to be hard and a fine line to walk, because my personality is kind of just like that, but that's still no excuse for me to be that way. So I'm going to try to be better and do better at that, but you have to be open and receptive to the things that people are saying to you. And you have to be able to admit your flaws, and damn, I'm fucked up. I ain't have to do old girl like that, or women, I ain't have to do old boy like that, or whatever, so just, be open and be honest with yourself. If you know what I'm saying, if you're not going to be honest with anybody else, at least be honest with yourself, and just try to switch it up and just try to do things different. So maybe you can get some different results out there, but don't be out there and be no bitter Betty and acting like no bitch, because that ain't going to get you nowhere neither.
So do you think it's a case of dudes get their heart broken by women, females, chicks, girls, whatever the case may be, the honey dips, who were not good for them anyway? It's like they want the taboo, but then when they try to get the apple and get bitten by the snake, now all of a sudden they want to complain because they know this chick wasn't shit, but because, it's like how women see the bad boy as the challenge, they want to change him. A dude probably see a chick, she may be drop dead gorgeous, she may have a beautiful face and a fat ass, but he knows for sure that this chick is not good for him, but he goes after her anyway. And then when he gets shitted on, then he say, all women ain't shit, this, that, and the third. So going back to the victimhood, do you think that a lot of dudes, they do it to themselves?
I think so. I think that's a very valid statement. You go for what you normally would not go for, or normally could be deemed out of your league or whatever, or you already know that she's a hoe. You already know that she's this. You already know that,
she's for the streets.
Exactly, that she's for the streets. And you go on here and you start fucking with her anyway. And then when, what I'm saying, it comes out how she really is, then you somewhere feeling all stupid or whatever. No, that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? That's the part of, damn, I got to take a little bit of responsibility and accountability on my part because I knew what I was getting into. So yeah, no, if you already know that, the homie, everybody done mess with her or whatever toxic trait that she may have, or whatever bullshit that she may be on, that nigga, she not gonna fuck with you if you ain't getting her hair done, her nails done, and you ain't doing this or that or whatever, or the theme that's going around right now, the coveted Birkin bag, then don't fool with her at all, because the outcome is not, you ain't doing nothing with her or for her that ain't none of these other niggas before you done. So no, don't even go down that road. I mean, especially you feel like I'm going to be the one, I'm going to be able to change her, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No, because here's the thing. She don't want to be changed, and she don't want to do nothing but what she's already out here doing.
And on that note, this has been another episode of Swingers After Dark, and this is your host, Not Sun, baby. Check out my website at www.notsunblaze.com. That's www.nahsunblaze.com. And check out my ebook, You, Me, Us, Them, The Swinging Manifesto. It's on Nook, Kindle, iBooks, Google Play. Go get it. It'll make you say, na, ow. And shoot me an email at swingpodcast@gmail.com. That's swingpodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up with any questions or concerns that you may have. Rate, share, subscribe, and comment on this podcast. Share the dig. And on that note, until next time, peace. And don't kiss them hoes in the mouth, baby.